The regime in Iran has begun publicly executing prisoners and has signalled that more protest-related executions are coming. Human rights groups like Amnesty International say the regime is using these executions and the death penalty as a political tool of repression against protesters in a desperate attempt to end the popular uprising. This isn't the first time that the regime has faced these kinds of accusations. Since it first came to power in 1979, the Islamic Republic of Iran has reportedly had a history of carrying out mass executions of political prisoners. And we're not talking ancient history here. Members of the regime today, including the current president of Iran, have been accused of playing a key role in one of the most infamous mass execution events in 1988, where at least 2,500 political prisoners were sentenced to death. If you're wondering how the regime has been able to make all of this happen, after the revolution of 1979, the regime set up an entirely new political system, military guard and justice system, all intentionally designed to protect the regime and prevent any future uprisings. For example, when it comes to the courts, the head of the entire judicial system is directly appointed by the head of the regime, the supreme leader, who pretty much holds ultimate power in Iran. Not only that, but there's an entirely different court system set up for people that are perceived as threats to the regime. Since 1979, the revolutionary courts have been used to sentence political activists, journalists, lawyers, and human rights defenders through what the United Nations calls grossly unfair summary trials. UN experts say the system relies heavily on forced confessions to prove guilt, extracted through torture and other forms of coercion. There have also been specific criticisms around the lack of transparency, denial of legal representation, overreach by judges, and fabrication of evidence. The revolutionary courts are responsible for the majority of death sentences in Iran, and Iran has one of the highest execution rates in the world.